Welcome back everybody, my name is Tucker, this is Sporting Logically, and today I wanted to take a look at the team payrolls for every team in the NBA and see which ones paid the most and the least per win in the league this year. To do this, all you have to do is divide the team payroll by how many games the team won. A few things to note, I'm only talking about team player payroll and not including any luxury tax a team may have incurred. I'm also using the end of season payroll numbers you see on screen here just to keep everything consistent. Obviously, with trades and roster movement, the total number will have changed during the year, so I'm just going to use the end of season numbers. I will leave a link below to this page in case there's any confusion. Lastly, I'll be posting the full numbers that I found over on my Twitter and Instagram if you're curious, so be sure to give me a follow over there. I do my best to respond to as many comments as possible, but social media is also a great way to interact with me and keep up with everything happening on the channel. With that out of the way, let's get started. Let's start in the Eastern Conference. There were a number of teams in the East this season that didn't have the year that they hoped they would. As you can see, the Hawks, Knicks, Nets, Magic, and Bulls paid the most per win in the East this season, and none of them made the playoffs for their troubles. In comparison, the Western Conference features the two most expensive cost per win numbers in the entire league, with the Grizzlies and Suns. And rounding out the top 5 are the Mavs, Kings, and Lakers, which means that no team in the top 5 in cost per win in either conference was able to make the playoffs, which is made even more clear when you look at the top numbers across the entire league. This could also be renamed the top numbers of any team that didn't make the playoffs, as the list would be the exact same. In terms of teams that didn't make the playoffs, but at least didn't have to pay all that much per win relative to the rest of the league, the Nuggets, both LA teams, Pistons, and Hornets have that distinction to their name. Speaking of the playoffs, here are the teams that made the postseason and that paid the most per win across the league. The Heat lead the way at just under $3 million per win, with the Wizards, Thunder, Cavs, and Bucks right behind them. And now we move on to those teams that should be the most proud of themselves in terms of cost efficiency per win. Starting with the Eastern Conference, the young and rookie contract-laden Sixers lead the way, followed by the Pacers, Raptors, and Celtics, along with the Cavs and Bucks tied for the final spot in the top 5. Moving on to the West, to nobody's surprise, the team with the best record in the league, the Houston Rockets, lead the way, followed by the Jazz, Nuggets, Warriors, and Blazers. Combining those to look at the most cost-efficient teams in the entire league, we have the Rockets as the only Western Conference representative, followed by the Sixers, Pacers, Raptors, and Celtics. Further looking into these numbers, there's a number of reasons why each of these teams place where they do. For those teams paying the most per win, the Grizzlies for example, many of them have expensive players that just couldn't stay on the floor this season as a result of a variety of injuries. While for other teams such as the Suns, they were able to keep their total payroll down, the 4th cheapest roster in the league, but they came up with only 21 wins, which is the lowest number in the entire NBA. For those teams at the top of the cost efficiency charts, they either overachieved relative to what was expected of their roster, such as the Jazz and Pacers, or their roster includes a large number of talented yet underpaid players that are still on their rookie contracts this season, such as the Sixers. Lastly, simply winning more games obviously helps teams climb the charts as well, as the Rockets lead the league in that category despite only having the 10th most expensive roster in the NBA. Now, I'm not saying anything negative or positive about teams that made any of these lists, as there are obviously issues with using these numbers to decide how successful a team's season was. As I said earlier, a player's salary is simply not a good indication of their value to a team in a specific season, as injuries and some rather questionable contracts given out in the past few off seasons especially make individual salaries a very inconsistent measurement of player value. Having said that, I still found it interesting to see what each team paid per win and who the most and least efficient teams were. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, then leaving a like rating is a great way to let me know, and if you'd like to see more videos just like this, then be sure to subscribe to Sporting Logically for more videos every single week. Thanks again, and I will see you all next time.